About a year ago today marks when I first started my journey working for myself. And this was months after working practically two jobs. I would work my normal job, come home, working for myself. And it was just a lot. And after doing that, and then also just going down different rabbit holes of books and YouTube videos of just kind of overall motivation type stuff, motivation content, I eventually just said, screw it, I'm gonna go dive into it and give it all I got. So going into this, I was very prepared, I felt like, but at the same time, though, a lot of it was just delusional confidence I got from the motivational content I was getting. And I do think that if you are going to work for yourself, or if you're trying to be a really good leader, you do need to have a little bit of delusional confidence just to give yourself that motivational push, especially when it comes to sales and stuff like that. But overall, it was stuff that really didn't really set me up for the long-term success. A lot of it was just me getting pleasure from calling myself an entrepreneur or working for myself or simply just quitting my job. And simply that obviously doesn't really sound too healthy as an entrepreneur or anybody just trying to work for themselves. So go down the road, I was making some money here and there. I wasn't making an astonishing amount of money, but I was slowly making progress as I went along. And you could go back and look at my old YouTube videos from about a year ago to kind of see where I was at with my journey, because that's just a little bit outside the scope of this video, but I was making progress for sure. And I fully believe if I kept going the pace I was going at, I definitely would have succeeded at some point in the future, whether it be 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it was. I was definitely progressing into the right direction. But the issue was is that as I was doing this, it was too slow as my resources were dwindling. Eventually, I just needed to say, screw it, I need to get a job and I need to get back into the working force to get some more money because I wasn't making enough money as a business, let alone a person, just to kind of live, eat, breathe, whatever. And I eventually had to come to a decision whether it was to just find a job that would help me make enough money just to survive while I kept working on my business, or kind of just put a full pause reset on my business, for however many years that's going to take, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, while I kind of take a deep breath, really reflect on what I did right, what I did wrong, and then work on the stuff that I did wrong before I started up on that business again. And eventually I did go with the decision to go get like a full-time job again, just really just hone in on this new job and focus on just growing myself professionally and my career and my resume and everything. That way I can fully reset and kind of think about what I did right, what I did wrong with my business. That way, next time I want to do it, like I said, 5 years, 10 years from now, whenever I want to do it again, I will be more prepared to do that with the stuff I'm going to learn along the way. And so after about 6 months now working at my new job, which I really do enjoy, I can now kind of fully wrap my head around everything and look back at what I did right, what I did wrong, and tell you guys what I think I'm going to be doing for the next, months, years. That way, next time I either quit my job to start a business or change jobs to a ideal business I like to be part of, I know what I will be looking for. And so to kick it off, I think it was important to first of all ask, why did I stop my business? Why did I stop working for myself? And the answer was, I needed more money. I know it's simple, but let's dive deeper. Why did I need money? Because I didn't have enough customers. I didn't have enough high-paying customers. Okay, why was that? And the big reason for me was, I needed a better offer. I needed something that actually offers somebody. And a lot of that's tied to the product as well, but I just needed something, a good offer, overall offer, because sales can kind of go out the window, network can kind of go out the window. As long as you had a good offer, fundamentally, people would probably start to say yes more likely. That was a big thing. That was number one. The second big thing was the fact that I needed to grow my network. And for me, somebody that I'm not super salesy, I needed to grow my network. That way I had more people to connect with, do work for them, X, Y, Z. Because if I'm going to still not, if I had a good offer, the next best thing I would need is probably a better network. And so those are the big two first things. And the third thing was that I needed to become more versatile when it comes to sales. And that, like I just said, I'm not super salesy. That's something that's not really in my wheelhouse. So I'm not going to be necessarily fully diving into it. I think I'm better off at diving in on my strengths rather than trying to, I rather dive in on my strengths, really make my strengths like a superpower, and then kind of make my weaknesses good enough rather than trying to do the opposite and try to really work on my weaknesses and ignore my strengths. Because at that point, I'm just becoming extremely average when in the real case, I could be extremely really good at one thing and just kind of pass by at the rest. So that's my philosophy there. Now, after knowing that, I'm really working on those 3 things. And the first one for me was growing my network. And now obviously that's something that really just depends on time. Over the course of time, you're going to naturally grow your network more and more and more and more. But I'm actively trying to do that with going to different functions, just doing a really good job at work, because the better job I do at work, at my job, the more connections I'm going to make there. So overall, I'm just trying to buy into that mindset of just grow my network. That way one day I can utilize my network. The second big thing was develop a better offer. And this kind of ties a little bit more into the product side of things rather than to the sales side of things. And I think a lot of it was just me kind of believing more into my product. My product it was too much confusion for me when I was trying to do it back then. It was me trying to do social media, but then also creative services. It was kind of a conglomerate of too many things at once. I needed to simplify it down. That way I could create an offer and then B, a good offer. So that was really what it fundamentally came down to. And a lot of that is really just going to come down to me trying to understand what I could either make and scale or just try to do myself, if that makes sense. I can't really do one or the other. If I want to continue being a creative person, I'm a graphic designer. If I want to continue being a graphic designer and creative person, I just need to hone in on me being me. But if I want to create something that could be scalable, I need to work on a product that could be scalable rather than trying to juggle both or trying to do one while infusing the other. And that's where a lot of my issues came when it came to developing a good offer. So a lot of that's going to come with me just reading, learning from other people, and just kind of seeing what works, what doesn't work. So again, this is going to be more of a research type thing, maybe a little bit of a testing here and there where I can kind of explore without kind of, going full in again. So we'll wait and see on that side of things. And the last part was sales. And like I said, I'm not going to overly dive into the side of things, but I would like to read, maybe practice again here and there. And a lot of this is just people skills. And I think a lot of that is just going to be coming down to me interacting with people I do not know as much. So that's something that I'm going to be trying to work on as well. And I truly believe if I learn all these 3 things about myself and about how I can get better as a business person and as someone in the professional fields of what I'm trying to be doing, I think I will become more capable of either running a small business or being a part of a small business, because that's ultimately where I want to be. I don't know necessarily if I want to be a entrepreneur, CEO of anything, but I do know I want to be a part of a small business. I want to be a leader in a small business, and that's something I'm really passionate about. And I don't know when that will come. I don't know if it's 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I don't know, but I know I want to equip myself now and be ready for it then. So hopefully with everything I prepared myself for by going through that working for myself journey, kind of ending it short, learning what I could there, and then applying what I messed up from and applying it to my learning tactics now, I could hopefully eventually dive into that again in the future and be more confident, be more likely to be successful. So yeah, overall, I'm just trying to avoid making the same mistakes twice and 3 times, 4 times in a row, because if you keep doing those, I'll be losing my mind. We all know that quote. If you keep doing the same mistake twice, 3 times in a row, whatever the quote is, it's the definition of insanity. I think it's Albert Einstein, but I'll try to quote it down below after this video. Anyways, if you want to stick around and see me develop what I'm learning and just showcase what I'm learning to you guys, and overall just stick around and just see me develop as a professional person and just as a person together. That way you guys can see me succeed at the next journey, whenever that will be. Go ahead and subscribe down below. And if you want to see any other content related to that, follow me on Instagram as well. Anyways, I'll see you when I see you. Peace.